Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you all for taking the time and joining us today. My name is Sonia. I have been associated with Katha for almost a decade now in various positions. Uh, a very big thank you for all the distinguished panelists for being here. So, we are going to talk about a very relevant and a little, everybody is worried in a certain way, and we are concerned. So, our topic for discussion today is artificial intelligence hijacking children's expression? I think it's an extremely relevant topic because I think everybody is bothered. But before we go on to the topic, I would like to introduce our esteemed panelists. And before that, let me also introduce and talk a little bit about Katha. So, Katha has been into publishing and school for multiple years, 35 plus years. Why we are here is because of Katha Utsav. So, we want to celebrate children's writing. So, every year for past 2 decades, we have been having Katha Utsav on a regular basis, जहां हम बच्चों को encourage करते हैं कि वो अपने आप को express करें writing के through. So it's a very beautiful where it's open to all segments of society. सब बच्चे लिख सकते हैं. They can write in English, they can write in Hindi. These are the two languages we are working with as of now. वो फिक्शन लिख सकते हैं, नॉन फिक्शन लिख सकते हैं, पोएट्री लिख सकते हैं. So once वो अपनी submissions करेंगे, we have a regional workshop where they are mentored. We call a lot of authors, storytellers, and also writers and poets who come and mentor the children here, the children whose work is selected, and help them hone their skills. So that is what has been happening for so many years now. And then once the regional workshop happens, we have the Katha Utsav, the writers' workshop, where it's almost like a celebration of writing. So again, the mentors are called in. Now, this is a national level. Regional workshops will happen in different places across, India. And finale will be the national workshop. So this year, we planned it little differently. हमने सोचा कुछ अलग करते हैं और क्यों नहीं हम अपने इतने पैनलिस्ट एजुकेशनिस्ट हैं उनको बुलाएं और उनसे बात करें कि वो क्या फील करते हैं राइटिंग के बारे में और आजकल जो चेंजिंग ट्रेंड्स हैं उसके बारे में. सो दैट्स व्हाई वी आर हियर. वी हैव डॉक्टर रौफ मलिक. ही इज जॉइनिंग अस फ्रॉम कश्मीर. Then we have Mr. Aftab Alam, who's also joining us from he is associated with ALIG, Educational and Welfare Society. And then we have Mr. Varun Srivastava. He's an alumni of IIT Kharagpur and is also the founder of Upai Foundation. We also have Ms. Sunita. She hasn't joined in yet. Ms. Sunita Ganju, she's joining. She's a assistant project director from Om Foundation. Along with that, we have Mr. Chandan, who's joining us. He's a co-founder of the Pratigya Foundation, which is based in Jharkhand. So welcome to all of you here. So I'll open it with Dr. Rauf, if he's ready and he's still driving. Is that okay, Dr. Rauf, to begin with you?
I think you should give me some more time because I'm in the remote area. So let me reach a bit nearer by the time some other people speak.
Perfect. So we'll, Varun sir, let's begin with you that in this case, let me give a more broader introduction here. So Varun sir, as I told, is an alumni of IIT Kharagpur. He's also the founder of Upai Foundation, working in upliftment of underprivileged children. I absolutely, when I was going through your profile and your website, and it was really nice to see the initiative, especially the footpath Pathshala, where you're going to the street children and, getting literacy out there in the streets. And also, Upai has lots of multiple learning centers for children in rural and slum areas. I would open this discussion for you, Varun sir, what do you feel? How is artificial intelligence, or is it hijacking children's expressions? So that is the topic
Yes.
of the day. So what is
Thank you
your
so
feeling about it?
thank you so much, Sonia ji, and thank you for having me in this discussion among the esteemed panelists. And am I audible?
Yes, yes, of course you are.
It's a very relevant topic you have taken today, and I think the more technology is, coming up with the eases and making things easier for us. Similarly, AI now it's a very important and very, I would say, revolutionary thing which has happened, and not only for the children but for the adult and for the youth.
Absolutely.
So it has made our life much easier. I'm a working professional, and with the help of AI, I'm able to do a lot of things which I was not able to do earlier, and
Mm,
things which were taking a lot of time to do. So when we are talking about delivering the things, when we are talking about efficiency or the output, I believe that AI is definitely one of the best things we have around. But
mm,
when we talk about the expression, when we talk about the
right.
learning part, and especially in the early childhood, that definitely is going to be one of the biggest challenge which parents as well as teachers or the people who are working in the education sector they have to face,
Mhm,
because technology cannot replace the emotions. The biggest drawback so far in the technology is that it cannot replace the emotions.
mhm,
They can map your mind, they can, through machine learning, they can develop something what you are thinking, but the human emotion is something which technology is not able to crack yet. And in the childhood, when we talk about expression, it is all about emotions. And
right.
when we are working with children, and we have observed that when they are in the early childhood phase, the learning is through either they observe or
Mhm,
they listen or they, I would say, read. And it's a
mhm,
very organic process, because I think it takes years together when they develop some knowledge, and
mhm,
through that they express themselves. But now, since AI is there, through AI they will have problem solving puzzles, some other tools through which their problem solving skills can be improved. But when they used to visualize things, they used to see it, they used to spend time to learn those things. All that has
mhm,
gone because now it is very easily available. So that is kind of killing the creativity, the thinking process, because
mhm.
the thinking process is also not a one step process.
Correct.
When you are in the childhood, actually you recollect so many things and then you express yourself. So that entire process has gone now. It's a very easy thing. You will have some AI tool. So now that is kind of killing the creativity, the expression, the emotions, the emotional development of child. We at OPA actually we focus on holistic development of children. And for that we have multiple development parameters. But when we use the technology or the AI,
Mhm,
I think the most affected part will be the emotional part, the socio-emotional part, the I would say intellectual development, definitely with the help of AI, that will be far better. So, but the creative and the socio-emotional part, that socio-emotional development of a child, that is going to be very challenging. So that is it from my side.
coming from the IIT background, I have a very burning, and it's a very puzzling question. I am an educationist. I'm into education myself. I have a question. Um, when should technology be introduced to the children? I mean, is there an age for that? Because I worked in an alternate school, and we tried level best not to get computers or any kind of technology in for the longest time ever. But I don't know. I don't have an answer. I would like all of you to kind of, you know,
See,
kind of show the path
coming
somewhere.
coming from one of the premium technological institute, if I will say from that background, I must say that, okay, as early as you can introduce. But I'm working in social sector from last 15 years and I'm working with children. I have seen their development. So I would say that if we can avoid the early childhood, and a lot of people are doing that experiment. Now, I have seen families, they are not giving phone or any kind of screen exposure to their children. And those children are doing absolutely wonderful in their life because they have learned those things by their own. They have explored things. Those things are not easily available. So, both in terms of their health, because screen time is something which will definitely going to affect your health. It's going to affect your eyes. So, in terms of their overall physical development, their health, as well as their emotional development, it is important that if we can restrict, I think class fifth will be the ideal, I would say, class when you can introduce technology, you can introduce computers or laptops to the children. And then because now they are developing early coders and, I think it is
Right,
in since 8 years, 10 years. But
right,
I think we
right.
have to be very, very cautious about it because it's a double sharp, I would say. If you miss, then your children is going to suffer a lot in terms
मुझे
of emotional development.
एक और बात पूछनी है कि आपको क्या लगता है, क्या एआई बच्चों को आजकल स्पेशली फॉर राइटिंग एंड ऑल, क्या हमें एक्सपोज करना चाहिए बच्चों को एट ऑल? बिकॉज अब ये सेगमेंटेड नहीं है, एवरीबडी हैज अ फोन राइट नाउ, because if you walk down the street also, मैं उस दिन बाहर दुकानों पे थी और 4 बच्चे इकट्ठे बैठ के they were playing games and they were unaware of the existence of anything around. ये स्ट्रीट के बच्चे थे और मुझे बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगा, बल्कि मैंने एक फोटोग्राफ क्लिक कर लिया कि ये कितना ज्यादा I mean, it's just gone everywhere. So there's no limit to this. So how much, if at all, AI needs to be, exposed to children at school level? Or should it be exposed at all? And does that, as you said, it does impact writing?
Yes, sorry, I think I'm in a very disturbance environment, so lot of background noise
No
might be
worries,
coming.
yeah.
Yes, so I would say that, see, I still feel that in the learning phase, it's not introduce AI, especially with the children, because that process should not be diluted. It will take some longer period of time. Maybe through AI, you will learn things fast, but when you will go through the traditional organic process, those things are going to last long. So you use AI when you are using it for other purpose, but for not gaining the knowledge. Knowledge you should gain through the traditional process, through the organic process, and you should spend as much time as possible to gain that knowledge. So even for the writing also, I would say that when we were, in our early childhood, it took a lot of, efforts and a lot of time to get the writing habit and to get the, good writing skills. But maybe with the help of AI, we will get those results, very fast. But this will going to destroy the creativity, the learning process, I would see the thinking process of the child. So it is important. I still feel that we should introduce during the implementation phase, not during the learning phase.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Our next panelist, Mr. Chandan sir. He's the founder of Pratigya Foundation, which is based in Jharkhand. Pratigya is the first organization in Jharkhand that initiated working on life skills, personality development, and financial education of deprived children. Mr. Chandan Singh, I would like you to shed some light. Is artificial intelligence hijacking children's expression?
So thank you so much, Sonia ji, and I was hearing Varun, uh, and it's very good to hear something from a person who is coming from an engineering background and
Mm.
to from a very premier institute of India, where most of the children after studying +2 and science, they
Yes.
want to be there and work as an engineer.
Mhm.
But before just jumping into your question of should what like AI and writing, I
Mhm.
just want to since there are a lot of people who are hearing us, and so I want to the poster which you have floated. That's very interesting. Na? If any one of us have noticed that what exactly the poster is actually saying, that writing skills, and then there are two other words. I hope I'm audible. Na? There are people who are actually texting. Na?
हाँ जी
Yeah,
सर बिल्कुल हम
great.
सुन
It's
सकते हैं
artificial intelligence hijacking. That's the this thing.
So again, so there is another word which is curiosity, है ना?
हाँ
Yes.
जी
Or
हाँ जी
creativity.
एब्सोल्युटली हाँ जी
So it's very important for us to understand that what does writing skill
हम्म
gives to an individual.
हम्म
What happens to a person or a child when
हम्म
they pick up pen? So I'm very
हम्म
old school person. So I use pen, and
हम्म
the moment I start talking, I use pen. Yeah, बिल्कुल अनामिका जी बिल्कुल हम आप और आपकी तरह. So I start writing it up. But exactly what happens when we start writing,
हम्म
you know, and especially when I'm speaking from the lens of the children with whom I work in Jharkhand,
हम्म
children from marginalized from community, children from urban slum, children from rural, Jharkhand, where education is still is a distant dream.
हम्म
Equality is still is a distant dream. Discrimination is something which they face every day, every hour. In terms of receiving, education, health, or basic amenities, and or even in terms of expressions, which is the main thing which you have asked. So what happens when they write, and when they write their narratives, when they
yes
write their stories? Yeah. So this is very important for us to understand that it's not just they're expressing something which every one of us can read, but it's also they're actually fixing their place, they're claiming their spaces
हम्म
in this world which we generally use and call so called. So this is one thing which I really want to bring in before I go to the AI. What does AI, should we use AI or not? and
हम्म
and and so you were asking, Sonia ji, you were asking question to Varun, that when should be the ideal age of introducing technology to children. I
yes
would also ask a question. We should also ask a question on that. How should we introduce a technology? That is very important. So we believe it or not, accept it or not, AI is with us.
हम्म
It's it's everywhere. Chat GPT,
हम्म
Microsoft, they have something Copilot,
हम्म
something. There are things, and then some Google is also having some kind of AI with
हम्म
their which they have already opened up, and Microsoft, so they are using AI from very long period. It's in public domain, it's very new, but then they are using it very from long period. So believe it or not, accept it or not, it's already there. But the question is that how are we introducing it? The creativity a person needs when they need to instruct AI that I need to write something like this, and that instruction is still has to come from a child or a person who is instructing that, and that still requires a creativity in a larger perspective than AI. AI cannot write anything or whatever you want. You have to specifically say,
हम्म
at least at this stage where the AI is. And I don't know, maybe after 5 years or maybe 2 years, it will start writing as
I guess there's a network problem. We'll just wait for Chandan sir to join us back. Yes, sir.
Sorry,
I think we lost you
audible?
for a minute.
Sorry,
Yes.
sorry.
Yes, sir.
So I was saying that uh, I don't know, maybe after a year or a specific period of time, AI would start writing as an emotions or all with emotions. They will, we may ask AI that please can you write a letter to my grandmother, and I'm not feeling very good, and these are some things. But then at any point of time when I am trying to, so I'm not from an engineering background, but this question of AI and children and childhood was very much disturbing me. So I thought that let's see what exactly AI. I spoke to many of the engineers, many of the people who are using AI, and then realized that okay, it's very important for person to have creativity. The person should have curiosity in that, in their mind, that okay, I need to think beyond AI. Then only AI can give you something what you want in terms of that. है ना?
Haji. I think Anamika, I can hear Sir Satish sir is saying Chandan sir is not audible. You can hear. Perfect.
He's audible. All clear.
Right. Okay. Right. Any questions so far? Because there were people who wanted to ask some questions. Please go ahead. You can ask, sir.
Yeah, in the chat box, someone had mentioned that
Right.
they want to ask questions. Yes, please go ahead.
Ji, good afternoon,
Hanji.
everyone. I'm Shahzada Akhtar, and I have been working with Koshish as a CLC facilitator there. And my question is, जो मैं सर से पूछना चाहूँगी, what is the best age to introduce AI?
It's actually going to the same question which I had asked Mr. Varun. So I think we are all confused lot here.
What, according to you, is the best age when we can introduce AI?
Varun, you want to go ahead, or if you allow, I can express
Varun sir, you can
my view
actually
on
come
this.
in if you would like to. Anybody can actually, for the matter.
No, I think let sir speak. My just one point is that when you are asking about writing part, that when we should introduce. So the entire process of learning in the childhood, like I told you, it's not an isolated process. So many things are related to that. So like sir was mentioning that I still use pen. So when we use pen or pencil in the childhood, it is just not about learning the writing part. It is about developing the motor skills. It is about developing the strength in their muscles. So the moment you go to AI or you start using AI and start typing, that muscles building will not be there. And the creativity, that is also important. So I think I have already answered. So sir, you please go ahead.
Uh, Sajada, as I was saying, there is another question which needed to be asked every time when you ask at what age technology or AI should be introduced. I would say that we should also ask question, how should we introduce AI to children? Are we introducing AI as a as a person, as a technology which will help you, or which will do your work instead of you? तुम्हें जवाब लिखना नहीं आता है तो तुम एआई को बोलोगे तो लिख देगा, है ना? अगर आप ऐसा सोचने के लिए बच्चे को बनाएंगे तो वो एआई को वैसे ही देखेगा जैसे आपने बताया है। लेकिन
Hmm.
अगर आप बच्चे को ये बताएंगे कि देखो एआई किसी ने बनाया है, और दिस इज द पॉसिबिलिटीज वी हैव रीच्ड हियर इन दिस वर्ल्ड इन टर्म्स ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, इसके आगे क्या है वो देखना है, या इसके पीछे क्या, ये कैसे बना ये देखना है। कैन यू क्रिएट अ सॉल्यूशन सिमिलर लाइक दिस? कैन यू यूज सॉल्यूशन सिमिलर लाइक दिस? कैन यू थिंक बियॉन्ड दिस? है ना? तो टेक्नोलॉजी कैसे इस्तेमाल करना है, कैसे आप उसको डिफाइन करते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई कैन गिव यू अ वेरी पर्सनल एग्जाम्पल ऑफ माइंड, है ना? So I have a daughter, शी इज 6.5 years old. So I don't give her phone and as well, है ना? But then I tell her that there is a YouTube app, and I tell her that these apps are important, and I tell her that if you see YouTube, there are a lot of things which you can see. You can actually listen, songs. You can actually listen discovery. You can actually see how sky and constellation, and she loves stars. She loves stars. So I'm saying if you want to learn about all this thing, you can use it. है ना? So and she also, and so recently I gave her a book, uh, uh, just written by Sudha Murthy, and, Gopi, growing up Gopi, you know. She was reading it, and then and she suddenly saw me watching Sudha Murthy, when Sudha Murthy, she was speaking in Parliament. So I was watching her video, that what she was saying, and she suddenly came and said, "Oh, she's the lady. I am reading her book." And does she write a book? Does she is she a person who is also a politician and everything? So she took an hour to understand, सुधा मूर्ति कौन है यूट्यूब से, पर वो उसके किस काम आ रहा है, वो इम्पोर्टेंट है, how do you introduce it? That's very important. Thank you.
I hope, Shehzada ma'am, your question was answered. Any more questions from Chandan sir or Varun sir or anyone? And then we'll move to our next. Dr. Roff is here from JNK. He's the founder of Koshish. It's an organization dedicated to protecting vulnerable children. Dr. Roff is deeply committed to children's rights and environmental advocacy. He has played a significant role in implementing the Juvenile Justice Act in JNK and has been actively shaping child rights policy in the UT. I hope I haven't missed out on any of that, Dr. Roff. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's all right.
Thank you so much.
I think I'll start with the trying to answer the question that somebody amongst you and then Shahzada posted, was that what is the right age? Honestly speaking, coming from the jurisprudence point of view, I don't think we are in a position to decide right now what should be the proper age, although we have a lot of legislations which are already there, number one, and number two, which are probably going to be enacted in a couple of years from now. So I think we don't have a real time answers for this question. I think we need to have some more time, some more experiences, so that we can come up with something that would lead us to this critical question. Probably then only we'd be able to settle it. I heard our technical experts also coming from IITs, and I think we are still in the process. So Shahzada, probably we need to wait for some more time. When we are talking about how is it actually shaping the thinking processes of our children, or is it hijacking? Again, in a place like Jammu and Kashmir, where technology, almost in India, also in everywhere countryside, I think there is a large gap in between. There's a digital divide, in fact. So most of our children go to the government schools up to the age of 18. I have not seen many children using, many children using, to put it in a broader perspective, these digital devices. Not many children use it here. So what we did was, for this, I personally did a small case study with my own children. I gave them, I don't know how you would take it. So I thought this is the right time, and this gave me an opportunity also to talk to them and give them the devices and pose some questions, critical questions, and ask them, because I come from a medical background. So therein we have one conception of open book exams. I hope all of you would read it if you don't know it by now. So I thought this is the way we would be able to know, I would be at least able to know how actually it's affecting hijacking or taking over the critical thinking procedure or process of children. So I posed a couple of questions, and honestly, what came out, because I asked typical questions about religion, because we come from a particular society. So it was really bad to know that there was clear bias. They were one-sided. Probably the answers were right-wing, because whatever probably they found out on AI was completely opposite of what I would have expected them answering normally. So one mistake which I did was I should have asked them previously these questions. So that was not to be. I think I would be able to do it some other time. It's a good exercise. I hope we can do it with our children sometime ahead in the forthcoming times. And the small exercise I did was that the outcome was that it is definitely hijacking. 100% out of my 3 children, it took over their minds, because whatever they had, the bigger one had a different perspective, although he tried to not tell me everything that AI had generated. And he was confused also, actually, because what he had learned all these years, there was something else coming out. So I think it's a learning for me. It was a learning for the children also. Uh, I I don't have anything else, because I haven't gone through this properly with the children. I think we need more time to realize, to recognize, to understand this, how this is going to affect our children. Thank you.
Right. Any questions, Dr. Rauf, you'd like to ask Dr. Rauf? Chandan sir, Varun sir? Anyone in the audience? Chandan sir, any questions from Dr. Rauf?
No, I don't have a question in per se particular. Uh, Thank you, Dr. Raw, for sharing this. But
Right.
I do feel, I was just thinking very loud at this point of time that okay, someone had posted question right before I go ahead.
Yeah.
Please,
So there's a
would it
question from
be
Rajesh who says, yeah, would it be fair to
Rajesh sir,
say that
would,
AI gives
yeah.
an alternative perspective to children? Let me take the pleasure of introducing Rajesh. Sonia, go ahead. Please go with the introduction.
And Anamika, you carry on, please.
Okay, so Rajesh Rajan is the executive director of Katha, and he has joined us today. Rajesh, thank you for joining, and I'm glad you're here and participating actively. Rajesh's question is: would it be fair to say AI gives an alternate perspective to children? So the question is to our panelists. Any one of you could take it up, Mr. Chandan, Mr. Varun, or Dr. Rauf.
Yes, I think what Rajesh sir is saying, that is absolutely correct, because it definitely does give alternate perspective to children. Because I would say the perception or the perspective is developed. There's a process again in the childhood. Then when you are in the toddler age, that time actually you start learning about the perceptions, and that comes from your surroundings, from your parents, from your teachers. And at times you get very limited exposure. And with that limited exposure, your learning, your perception, your thinking, that is being, developed. But with the help of AI, because there is no limit, it is not restricted to in which family, in which environment you are born, where you are being, raised. That doesn't matter. If you have AI, you will get all kind of exposure, and irrespective of your, upbringing place. So whatever perspective you have, the moment you get help of AI, that perspective will definitely be a different one, and it will cover all the aspects which you might have missed during your, when you were growing up.
Yes, Chandan sir, Dr. Rauf, would you like to
I
add on to that?
so thank you, sir, for posing this question. I would say that can AI give alternative perspective to children? I would say yes, it can. Is it giving right now? No, it is not giving right. Because for currently, when I see, in terms of, using AI, it's we actually, diverting only towards AI, not towards, we are not actually making balance between the topic which today we are having, writing and AI. But then, so since this question has come up, so I think how we are actually, using AI, or is AI using us? So I can give you an example of, there's a very good app, Bolo app. A lot of us must have seen. There's a Google ka Bolo app hai ek. So what it initially used to do is that there used to be a lot of words, it keep coming up, and then children would read acha, hal, kal, chal, mal, aisa padenge, and then that would happen, and the people were very happy. People were very happy. Okay, see,
Correct.
my child can read a lot of words from this app, and but
Mhm.
actually, what was happening after a few days or few months, Google started giving you stories. And then what was that happening? We were not using AI. AI was using us. AI was actually, collecting data, that how do a children from Jharkhand community or a rural Khuti speak Kal, and how do a child from Bihar speaks Kal. ये जो छोटे छोटे नुआंसेस है वो उसको कैप्चर कर रहे थे. हमें नहीं बताया गया कि हमको कैसा यूज करना है गूगल बोलो ऐप को, है ना.
Very
तो ये एक
interesting.
इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग मुझे लगता है, that we need to understand. It's very important that AI will give you perspective, but then the AI will help you generate new perspectives. But important is that do I have a, perspective of. Can you give me 1 second? I need to change my space where a lot of people have come. So, है ना?
No
No,
worries.
but
We
this is
also
not very-
getting
Yeah, Sonia.
some questions. So, Mr. Kath, there's a question: can artificial intelligence surpass human intelligence?
Very interesting question, actually. So, Dr. Rauf is still with us, and Mr. Varun is still. Any one of you can
I
take
think
it up.
I think we should stick to our topic. That would be, I mean, not justice to our program also.
Right.
Yeah.
So the question is, can we balance? Because as Chandan sir mentioned, that AI is here to stay, right? So now how do we go about it? That's the question then from me. Dr. Rauf, what are your thoughts?
I didn't get it. Can you please say it again?
As we all know, AI is here to stay, right? So we can't just kind of shrug it off. But then what is the way forward? And how do we just, take it up with the children? This is open to all the esteemed panelists.
I think we'll navigate our ways. I think everything that's new doesn't remain new for a pretty long time. I mean,
Correct.
before internet, when I talked about this open book exam, this was so new, and I mean, there are petitions actually against this. That, oh, how can you think of taking an exam and having a book besides you? If you go through Google, you'll find out so many stories. So we navigated that also. We came up with the ideas that we can have exams in a different way. Then internet came. Then we navigated how to use internet. And I'm thankful to my previous this counterpart who actually gave us a hint that are we actually being used. I think we should be thinking about the processes that make use of AI easy for children, and not AI using our children freely and easily. I think that should be the way forward. for those practitioners who are working with the children, particularly in the space of non-state actors and non-governmental organizations, because otherwise government states find out their ways to control the things. They know when to control and how to control it. I think we should use our space more to understand more about these things. As I previously said also, we need to conduct studies, case studies, proper studies with our own children, because it may vary from place to place. As you rightly said, Jharkhand could be different, Bihar could be different, Kashmir could be different, Tamil Nadu could be different. I think we need to do it in our own places. As I previously also said, uh, we are not seeing that much of use as of now, but it is increasing definitely, and it's there, as you rightly said. It's there. The elephant is in the room. Let us see how we can navigate.
Right. So as of now, because we have so many teachers joining us, what do you think? How can we retain children's expressions with the AI? So again, Chandan sir, Varun sir, and Rob sir, it's open to you.
And just I
Because
think what
we are all kind of going through that, because it's a new thing. Every time there's a new element introduced, we are actually, and then suddenly everything kind of settles down in a couple of years. But as of now, how do we retain children's expressions?
just want to add one thing. Somebody has raised that AI is using us. So if it's a give and take. If AI will not use us, then we will not be able to use AI, because the very essence of AI is that it is using human brain, and then it is training itself, and then the more it will use you, the more it will be able to help you. So it is going to be there. It will use you, you will use it. This is how it is going to be. But
Correct.
we are very good adaptability, and it is going to settle after some time, and we will know how to use it. So uh, since it is there, like you rightly said, and instead of whether we should use it or not, we should talk about what rightly Chandan sir has said, that how to use it and at what age it is to be use it, and there should be some control, that for which particular thing we should use it for, which are the things we should not use it. So that control mechanism should be there, because let's talk practically in today's world when both the parents are working, and they are not able to give that much time to their children. So AI is the easiest substitute for that, because you will get things very easily. So in the learning process also, most of the learning in the earlier time, it used to be through parents, through surrounding, through grandparents, but now that process is not there. So if you want to bring all those things in a virtual mode through artificial intelligence, then you need AI. You cannot you cannot bring back your parents when they are working somewhere. You cannot bring back your grandparents who can tell you stories, who can tell you moral values. So for all, I think the replacement is AI. So it is going to be there. Let's judicially use it for the betterment of our children. But again, I would say that there are certain age at present. I think the toddler age, up to 8 years of age, when children learn their emotional, development is there. So after that, if we use it, it will not kill the creativity and the emotional development of a child, and whatever knowledge they need, they can get through AI. And especially in the rural areas, when we don't have good exposure, when we don't have good teachers, the AI is very important.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we have Rajesh sir here joining us. We'd love to have him here and share his thoughts also on the topic. I mean, we have this thing that, Rajesh sir, over to you. You are on mute. You are absolutely on mute.
Thank you, Sonia. Thanks, Varun, Chandan, Dr. Roff. I think, Varun, I so resonate with the second part of what you said. In fact, the more backward uh, location is where there is digital connectivity. There are single teacher schools today. How do we teach children in single teacher school pronunciation, the same teacher needs to use teach multiple subjects, right? So there are luxuries the digital have, and there are luxuries the elites have. In a way, technology, if I were to broad base it to a little bit to technology, I think one of the things, while Dr. what you said is correct, I would believe AI takes to those places and teaches spellings, and you can have creative expressions, and you can have them to write and evaluate, write an article on a buffalo, right? Write an article on if you were the prime minister of Switzerland, what would you do, right? And then you can have AI evaluate it for the child because the teacher is not capable today, right? Your teacher can say, can you evaluate on expression? Can you evaluate on emotion, sentence formation, syntax, uh, so on and so forth, because the teacher is not capable, but AI can actually help develop a child's expression in a scenario like a rural place, because with a 3G or a 4G, that should be possible. Would that not be a good way in which we can relook instead of hijack building expression? Mr. Chandan, Dr. Roff, Varun, for you.
Anyone is not going, then I would. I'm sorry for taking out some words which actually is a defining thing which you were saying, sir. Um, so I personally like see fundamentally when I see technology as I see it as an associate of me, not my replacement. This you could have this meeting with with the AI speaking, and that could have, but that's not me. A teacher cannot be replaced if we are fundamentally thinking of there are some things agree with that fact. Can AI, do checkings and all this thing? I am agreeing with that, but then it is because that a teacher is not capable, we should push technology, because so this is the world, education world, and it's not a linear world where everything function in a way which we push. The moment we start pushing that, okay, there are no teachers and there can be AI which can teach children, and that becomes the replacement of a teacher. And since we are talking about a teaching learning process in the classroom, and rightly said, Varun was also saying that there are a lot of things which emotions come to the child, and we walk, not just child, but when I'm speaking to you and when I'm hearing this, and the moment you said it, okay, you asked the question and somebody told that, okay, Rajesh Sundarajan sir is an ED, and you wrote that I'm here as an audience, and these words were like, okay, oh my God, the ED of Katha is here and I'm speaking. This is the emotion. And is it changing anything? No, it's not changing much, but it's changing my whole ownership in this conversation. And that's building a relationship with all of you, all three of you. And so that's where, we should be very mindful of using technology in classroom. Are we using it as an associate? Are we using it as a replacement? Because and there can be n reason of replacements. There can be n reason. One reason can be there are shortage of teacher. One reason can be there are a lot of teachers who don't know how to teach. One reason there can be a lot of teachers who are actually they don't want to do it. But that's fine. But the moment we say that, okay, it's a replacement, then we are entering into the different danger of the world. I feel it, so because rightly Varun said, if AI will not use us, then AI will be able to help us. And I am sure Varun would agree that AI will not stop at that point. Okay, great. I'm here to help you. I'm here taking everything from you just to help you. Don't worry. I'm sure AI is not going to stop there. or the person who is designing or the team who is designing AI will not stop here. And we all are, all are seeing this every day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is Rajesh sir. Would you like to add more to
मैं
it?
सॉरी एक लाइन बस कहना चाहता हूँ।
हाँ जी प्लीज।
मैं सभी को ये कहना चाहता हूँ, मेरा ये मानना है कि शिक्षक का रिप्लेसमेंट, मैं हिंदी में इसलिए कह रहा हूँ कि मैं मुझे लग रहा है कि मैं इसको दोनों भाषाओं में कह दूं कि एक टीचर, एक शिक्षक का रिप्लेसमेंट ना अभी हो पाया है, ना कभी हो पाएगा। हाँ, हम कर देंगे ये अलग बात है, क्योंकि हमने बहुत सारी चीजें कर दी हैं इस दुनिया में, है ना। तो जब मैं कहता हूँ कि मेरे पास पेन है, क्या इस पेन का क्या रिप्लेसमेंट है? ऑफ कोर्स है, स्टाइलस है हमारे पास, हम स्टाइलस यूज करते हैं, है ना। इस पेपर का रिप्लेसमेंट है क्या? हाँ, इस पेपर का भी रिप्लेसमेंट है, बिकॉज वी हैव अ स्क्रीन, बट देन दैट फीलिंग का रिप्लेसमेंट नहीं है, वो टीचर का रिप्लेसमेंट नहीं हो सकता। दैट
Very well said. Thank you. Thank you so much. Open to the audience. आप लोगों के पास कुछ प्रश्न है तो प्लीज आप पूछिएगा. It's open to all of you. अगर आप चैट बॉक्स में लिखना चाहते हैं तो आप चैट बॉक्स में लिखेगा, और अगर पूछना चाहते हैं अनम्यूट करके प्लीज, वी आर लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू योर क्वेश्चंस एंड क्वेरीज.
There are two questions out there. I think one is, can artificial intelligence surpass human intelligence?
हाँ, ये जवाब
Right.
दिया था. हाँ जी,
Yeah.
हाँ जी.
So I think we did not comprehensively answer that question. Varun, you want to take that?
It cannot, because see, the origin of artificial intelligence is because it is getting intelligence, it is training the machine based on the human intelligence, and human has developed it. So the person who has developed it is a human, so it cannot surpass intelligence of its, someone who has invented it, someone who is, constantly developing it. But yes, those who have very limited knowledge, there I think AI can be very helpful. But it cannot beat human intelligence at any point of time, because human is the one who has invented it. So they will always find, upper hand how to tackle that. Because whenever something comes, you will definitely find a counter of that, and that is human intelligence. Whenever something will be there will be alternate for that.
Thank you.
and
I have a
and
slightly different take to that question, right? So when we are talking of children who are using it, I think it combines what all of you have also said. You can use in situations where you do not know the question, you have done your thought process for a child or an adult for that matter, and you're expanding the horizon of your knowledge. I have already done, for example, what are the 5 things that can be detrimental to a democracy? I'm just making up this statement right now. 5 things. You write down the 5 things and say, have I missed out anything? And then continue the process till you go to the end of line and then say, okay, 8, 9, 10, I'm done with it. Now I can go back to the AI and then say, okay, these are the 10 things I spoke. Is there anything else I missed out? Right? It might come with 11 and 12 or just one, and say, no, you have done it comprehensively. So in that situation, a human intelligence is being fully extracted. Completely taken. You are taking control of your own intelligence and then taking on to the artificial intelligence for something that you might have missed out. Here, I would see it enhances the human intelligence and it works towards a better good. The alternative can happen. What are the 5 things that are detrimental to democracy? So I go back and ask AI. I don't want to think. And I go ask the question. It gives me the answer, either in an open book exam copy, or I say, okay, itna hi tha na? Okay. So what has happened is the human has lost the ability to think because the AI is there. So we are going to have two sections of people. In a way, Dr. Roth said digital divide. I'm going to use the word the thinking divide between people, the people who are going to take their brain to the fullest extent and then add AI to learn more. Then there is one more set of people who are saying, oh man, I'm lazy. सोचना ही क्यों है? मुझे नहीं सोचना है. मुझे क्वेश्चन पूछा था, मैं आंसर पता कर लूंगा. ठीक है, मुझे तो कुछ सोचना ही नहीं है. So that set of human beings, I would think, is going to shrink their ability to think. And if we were to use Darwin's theory of the fittest, they would definitely artificial intelligence has taken over their human intelligence, right? So the answer may not be at a whole aggregate level of a humanity, right? It will affect differently to different people on how they are going to use. Just because AI is there, am I going to stop thinking? Yes, many people do that, right? And many people have just copy paste their thesis. They copy paste their PhD articles, copy paste their school assignments using AI. Yes, their intelligence is going to go down because they've stopped using their intelligence. Then there are some who are going to write what they want to write and then say, did I miss out anything? What is the alternate perspective? वही बच्चा सोचेगा 5 things detrimental. इसमें what is the gap in my answers? Then those guys are going to become better. But in all these situations, like what Varun said, the AI is doing definitely one thing. It is learning from both, right? AI is learning from both. In human intelligence, what is going to happen is the ones who are going to be a learning being are going to learn more. The ones who are going to be lazy in thinking are going to shrink. And that's what I think. It's not a 0-1 answer. It works on which set of human intelligence we are talking about.
Wonderful. I think this is a very interesting discussion that we had just now, with everyone coming out with their opinion. And there's one movie that comes to my mind, which is Robo, which we all have seen down south as well as in north. Everyone has seen the movie. Artificial intelligence is also created by human intelligence. We are all aware of that, and our panelists have very clearly stated the points. The points that were told by each one of them was so interesting that I'm sure it's going to help us. And we, in fact, for today's panel discussion, we could have just called CTOs of MNCs to come and talk on the topic, but the topic was not artificial intelligence. We wanted to see how our teachers feel about this. So that was important. And we as a community, like yesterday's panel discussion also, we had very interesting panelists who spoke about how writing could become extinct if the teachers or the parents or facilitators are not alert today. And today's discussion also led to a very interesting conclusion. I'm so happy that Dr. Raf and then Mr. Chandan Singh and Mr. Vanush Srivastav could spare time today, because extremely important to discuss on these topics. And now, as we're coming, to the end of this enlightening discussion, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to all our panelists. You've really shared your valuable insights on whether artificial intelligence is hijacking children's expression. We've explored, of course, so many facets of AI's influence on creativity, learning, self-expression in children. One takeaway that stands out is, of course, the importance of encouraging children to write. They need to have their own space in this world. That's important, because emotions can't be just expressed that way. So that's very, very important. And we, at this end, must encourage the children to put their thoughts into words, and we are helping them to articulate their ideas, explore their creativity, and of course sharpen their minds. So in line with this, I'd like to remind everyone अबाउट आर कथा उत्सव. ये जो है बहुत ही सुनहरा मौका है. ये खाली एक छोटा मोटा एक सेलिब्रेशन नहीं है जहाँ पे आएंगे, कहानियां बताएंगे, चले जाएंगे. इट्स अ मूवमेंट. यहाँ पे हम नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को एम्पावर करने वाले हैं कि वो लेखक बन सकें, थिंकर्स बन सकें. एंड मैं सबको इंकरेज करूंगी कि प्लीज इस जर्नी में ज्वाइन विद अस, पार्टिसिपेंट्स की तरह, मेंटर्स की तरह, सपोर्टर्स की तरह. अपने बच्चों को, अपने स्कूल के बच्चों को, नेबरहुड के बच्चों को प्लीज इंकरेज दें कि इसमें वो ज्वाइन करें, बिकॉज इट्स आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू इंस्पायर यंग माइंड्स कि वो पेन उठाएं, स्टोरीज लिखें, अपने आप को डिस्कवर कर सके, उनको अपनी स्पेस मिले. लेट AI नॉट हाईजैक अस. हमारा जो खुद का दिमाग है काफी अच्छा है, जैसा भी है अच्छा है. सो द वर्ल्ड अराउंड अस इज एक्सट्रीमली ब्यूटीफुल, और हम यदि थोड़ा responsible होंगे, थोड़ा encourage करेंगे, तो I'm sure there's going to be great participation from everyone. तो कथा उत्सव का जो प्लेटफॉर्म है, इसके डिटेल्स जानने के लिए www.utsav.katha.org पे आप लॉग इन कर सकते हैं। सारी डिटेल्स वहाँ पे रहेंगे। यदि कोई डाउट हो, कुछ पूछना हो, तो हमारे पैनल के मेंबर्स भी हैं जो आपको डिटेल्स देंगे। कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर आप अभी चैट बॉक्स में दिया जाएगा। सो आई रिक्वेस्ट एवरीवन, आज के जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं वो भी और पैनलिस्ट भी, कि अपनी तरफ से अपने चाहूँ और जितने भी बच्चे हैं, प्लीज डू एनकरेज देम, बिकॉज इट्स एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस टू इंश्योर कि उनमें जो लिखने की क्षमता है वो बढ़े. Let them all come forward, and it's going to be a great Utsav festivity session. I think there's someone, Rajesh, you have raised your hand. You would like
Yes,
to add something?
before
No, it is basically
before we
Chandan.
end,
Chandan
Chandan
needs
sir
to
wanted to.
talk.
Sure,
Yes.
sure.
Right.
Over to you, Chandan sir.
Sorry, मुझे लगा कि ये अभी it's not going to end now, because but you started saying ना कि it's end. So since the
जी,
topic was writing and AI together, and
जी,
we like more
absolutely.
than half we were actually stuck between AI and its uses. But just in a nutshell, I want to say to every one of us that, and just to remind that what Katha does, and what I believe, whatever happens to AI, है ना, कुछ भी होगा, it will happen, and there are people who are promoting it, there are people who are developing it, and there are people who are using it, and there are people who are not using it and are misusing it. But then be mindful of something, that we all of us are working in field of education and field of where we are interacting with children. So we do have something with us, है ना? If the people, I'm not, I don't want to use they and us, but then try just for a better understanding, we do have books with us. So we start giving books with children, and start having interaction with them, that, okay, how to read book. So if you want to understand moon, let's read. If you want to understand, okay, how does this, the tree grows, how the jungle becomes, this, and you just read it. Let's read stories, small stories, and can you share something, some story from yourself? So the moment you will get into that domain, and that, and successfully able to bring child into that domain, and you will see that children are, I've seen, like, I've been using books of Katha, and use in my different learning centers, where, and I rightly said when Sonia was saying that there were children who were using mobile phone and playing. And but when I started, introducing that, okay, let's read. How do we read this? Let's read. How do we read it? ना,
Correct.
चलो
Correct.
पढ़ते हैं कि कैसे पढ़ते हैं. और फिर मैंने देखा है कि वो भाई बच्चे ना, वो भी बोलते हैं कि अच्छा ये तो वैसे ही है ना. आई हैव सीन चिल्ड्रन मेकिंग बुक्स, डिजाइनिंग बुक्स. इसमें
Correct.
ये वाली फोटो के बदले कोई और फोटो होती तो कैसा होता.
I think it's
And
like a
that's the
toy.
something children do
What
it.
toy? I mean, I might just like, what toy you want to replace it with? The books are the best, actually, to think about it. You know?
Yes, that's
Yes.
what I wanted to bring in. That's what I wanted.
Uh,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Anamika.
या इट इज वंडरफुल सर. अच्छा हुआ कि आपने अपने पॉइंट्स बताए, बिकॉज ऐसा नहीं कि हम सेशन एंड करना चाहते हैं. अभी भी वी आर स्टिल ओपन. यदि और कोई भी कुछ भी एक्सप्रेस करना चाहते हैं, प्लीज फील फ्री. द मोर द बेटर, बिकॉज चर्चा का ही विषय है. यदि हम चर्चा नहीं करेंगे तो कौन करेगा चर्चा. एंड इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि हर पॉइंट जो हमारे जहन में आ रहा है उसके बारे में हम बात करें. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि जो भी छोटी मोटी चीज हमें लगे, क्या पता किसको कहाँ इंप्रेस कर दे, किसको कहाँ प्रभावित कर दे. सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, कोई भी पॉइंट आपको लग रहा है कि इट शुड कम राइट नाउ ऑन दिस टेबल, प्लीज फील फ्री. देयर इज नो रूल कि अभी ही हमें वाइंड अप करना है. एनीवन, यदि मैंने कुछ मिस किया है, कुछ चैट बॉक्स में है, तो अभी भी आप लोग पूछ सकते हैं. एब्सोल्युटली द forum is open. Amanji says, I have a question, how to introduce AI to our students when almost all the children are using mobile phones. Okay, Aman Tenguria ji ka ye prashn hai. Any of our panelists would like to take this up? How to introduce AI to our students when almost all the children are using mobile phones. Chandan ji, Varun ji, any one of you?
Now, I think that question Rajesh sir has very, well articulated it. That आजकल मोबाइल में AI भी अवेलेबल है, but how to use it. So for the learning, you should not use it. आपको अगर उसको AI को यूज करना है, तो what he suggested कि अपनी नॉलेज को एनहांस करने के लिए जब आप AI को यूज करते हैं, या जो हमने किया है उसको क्रॉस चेक करने के लिए, उसको एवेल्युएट करने के लिए जब आप AI को यूज करते हैं, तो इट विल यील्ड फार बेटर रिजल्ट इंस्टेड ऑफ आप उससे सीखने की कोशिश कर रहे हो। तो आप
जी
सीख लीजिए, यू विल हैव नॉलेज, और उससे आप अपने जो भी डाउट्स या जो आपने सीखा है उसको एवेल्युएट करा लीजिए कि वो किस एस्पेक्ट्स में और इम्प्रूव हो सकता है। So for the children, it should be used for the improvement purpose, not for learning the basic things. When you have resources, जो आप traditional method से सीख सकते हैं, जहाँ resources नहीं है, then fully आप AI पे जा सकते हैं. But I think this is what is the one take way from this discussion, which I have.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Varun sir. Thank you so much, Chandan sir. I guess Chandan sir also needs to leave somewhere. Anamika, shall we end today's absolutely
Can I
enriching
just
and
add one thing if I can,
yes,
Sonia?
yes, sir.
One of the things as a teacher you can do, see, typically this is called a Socratic thinking. This is called a cynicism sort of a thinking. You think सब लोग सोचते हैं कि ये वाला आंसर है, ये पांच, ये पानी को हम सेव क्यों करना है, राइट? उसके बारे में लिख दिया। अभी उल्टा क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं, अच्छा मैंने ये बता दिया, इसको पूरा, इसका इट्स लाइक ए डिबेट, राइट? यू टेक पॉइंट प्रो एंड अगेंस्ट। मेनी टाइम्स यू कैन डू दैट विद चिल्ड्रन, बट एआई कैन बी द वन व्हिच इज योर ओपोनेंट। आप एक पोजीशन ले लीजिए, आपका पोजीशन को उनको बता दीजिए कि इसका ऑपोजिट आप बताते जाओ। मैं ये पॉइंट्स कर रहा हूं, इसका ऑपोजिट प्रोज मैं बता रहा हूं, कौन सा बताते जाओ। इफ यू आर अ टीचर यू कैन, आई स्टिल गो बैक टू चंदन जी ने जो बोला था, you have to be a moderator. I mean, at the end of it, we cannot let the child get fully tunneled into the AI at this stage. आप जो बता रहे हैं सही है, what Rolf said was also absolutely right. But as a teacher, हमारा दो टाइप्स का डिस्कशंस को इंट्रोड्यूस करने के लिए आप AI को यूज कर सकते हैं, right? But it should be, I'm not saying you should control, but use it a little wisely. अच्छा ये ऐसे हैं यूजेस हैं, पांच और आप बताइए, इस पे आप एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिए, चर्चा कीजिए इस पे. So I think in a way teachers play a very important role in ensuring it is used the right way. इफ यू से नो मोबाइल फोन्स है आप यूज मत कीजिएगा, वो इधर आपकी बात सुन के कभी भी यूज नहीं करेंगे या आपको छुपा छुपा यूज करेंगे. I think in a way it's important for us to say these are the things, this is how you can use. Of course it can make you dumb also, but you are responsible for that. वो हम बच्चों को एक बार वो आ जाए, then I think we have done our little bit to those children. I don't know if I answered your question on that. How can, if children are carrying mobile, what should we do?
I think that is answered. Otherwise, they would have put up a continuation to that. I'm hoping
Yeah,
यदि
okay.
किसी और की कोई और भी हो तो query please feel free, आप chat box में डाल सकते हैं. Before we
we
wind-
are, yes. And also one more thing, we still have one more panel discussion coming up on Friday. तो एक और पैनल डिस्कशन है, प्लीज आप ज्वाइन करिएगा. आज की जो हमारा वेडनेसडे वर्कशॉप थी वो कल के लिए पोस्टपोन हो गई है. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस एब्सोल्युटली एनरिचिंग वर्कशॉप व्हिच वी हैड, आई मीन द डिस्कशन वी हैड टुडे. तो कल हम मिलेंगे फिर से 4:30 को. होपफुली सब लोग आएंगे, और अगर कुछ उस वक्त भी प्रश्न होंगे तो वील टेक इट फॉरवर्ड बिकॉज इट नीड्स टू बी थॉट थ्रू, आई एम श्योर. Thank you so much, Anamika.
One thing on the Saturday's panel, Friday's panel discussion, that is going to be from, see, it's a very different panel. आप जब देखेंगे वो Friday वाले panel को, ये पूरा cities के बड़े बड़े schools, these are private schools के teachers हैं, principals हैं. हम just shift कर रहे हैं focus को from the sort of a non-profit schools and the sort of audience all of us are, to shift to a elite school. उनका क्या राय है, right? Because we know, we all know there is a digital divide, there is a economic divide, social divide, cultural divide. intellectual divide. बहुत सारे divisions तो हैं ही. So we thought of bringing one set of panel from that perspective and see how is that discussion happening. I am looking forward to that as well. It's a very different India we will see there. So let's look forward to that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining. Anamika.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah, thank you all of you.
Thank you,
It's
everyone. Thank you.
pleasure
Thank you,
having all
everyone.
our
And
panelists.
thank you, Varun sir. Thank you so much.
Varun ji, Chandan ji, Dr. Rauf ji, Rajesh, and Sonia, all of you. Thank you so much. Fantastic having all of you here. Thank you.
Thank you.